Well, all right. It is Friday, March 15. It's just about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am wrapping it up for the day. As you can see, today I was 1 and 0. I actually copy traded to a second account, Evaluation 35. I copy traded and played at the same time as PA7. Made $127 on both accounts. And today, just not much going on really. It's a pretty slow day. I got in on right around 7 in the morning Pacific Standard, and my first trade I was in at 7:08, so it was within the first 10 minutes of me trading for the day, and 10 minutes of me starting my stream, and happened to pick a bottom for now. It looks like price is on its way to trying to retest the bottom there. Yeah, so just reviewing for my accounts. PA7, I'm now back above the starting balance, which is good. And not quite a full drawdown yet, but within a couple $100 of that, I think. And then the evaluation that I took the trade on, still under starting balance, and got about 1100 or so in drawdown. So still a ways to go on that one. I'm going to try to be more aggressive with it as I move forward and just copy trade it onto all my other trades as I move forward, like I did today. So what else can I say? 12 and 1 for the week, 92%. I'll take that. It's a little bit lower volume of trades than I would like. I'd really like to be at around 20 trades a week. Last week I was over 20 trades, so I think I was 19 and 7 last week. It was like 73%. So much better week in terms of win rate with only one loss. But the volume is down. I did start applying some limited new rules to my trades this week, which actually kept me out of probably 2, 3, or 4 trades I could have taken today. And I could talk about them briefly maybe today, or at least one of them. Other than that, 135 wins, 32 losses on the year, 81%. And things are looking good. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I am seeing I am definitely struggling to get enough trades across the accounts, and I've got 2 that are inactive right now. So I got to think about what I want to do because of that, whether I want to copy trade evaluation at the same time as my PA or what. Because especially now, if these limited rules are reducing the number of trades I'm going to get again, then I need to do something to be able to spread out the trades and the wins across my accounts a little bit better or faster, because it's just going to be a really slow process otherwise. All is good here. So let's take a look at my one trade of the day and maybe talk about one other trade or so that I could have taken. And then we'll wrap it up real quick. Be a short video, hopefully. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Like I said, I started my day just right around 7 o'clock, had the stream going, and within the first 10 minutes of my trading day, we had been making all new lows, and had a first entry, second entry, had a really good signal bar, and it was the first setup of the day for me. Picking the lows of the day is not always a great feeling, but it worked really fast. And I got 13 ticks on the trade on PA7 and evaluation 35. So $127 on both those accounts. And from that point, just not a lot of price action on this chart, actually, while I was doing typing this up, and I think fixing my stats, updating them, as well as picking a new account to trade for the next trade. This actually had a first entry short, second entry short below this kind of almost bullish bar right right at the EMA, and this one did not work. So fortunately, I missed this trade. I would not have taken this trade anyways because I've seen this exact setup fail multiple times in the last few weeks, and I've taken many of them that look like this. So when I see a bar that looks like this above the EMA, kind of on the bullish side with a lot of stem, and it's resting right on the EMA after crossing over it, and I see a second entry form below, I'm avoiding these situations from now on. So even if I did see it, I wouldn't have taken it. And so when this occurred, I was no longer going to use this chart for the day. For anyone that follows my journey so far, you know that I'm looking for tick charts on the NQ where every single second entry works for my profit target. And those are the charts I trade. And when a chart gets an entry that doesn't work, I stop using that chart for the rest of the day, typically. So from there, I switched charts and went to primarily watching this chart, although I had a couple other charts. And because there was that loss kind of in this area on that one chart, there was a second entry short here that I could have taken, but because it was right on the heels of watching it lose on another chart, I decided not to take this one as well. It would have ultimately worked for my profit target. So that was one trade I skipped today that I could have taken. But I didn't feel comfortable taking it right after seeing that other chart lose. I have seen kind of a domino effect sometimes where one chart loses, and then if another setup occurs similar right afterwards on another chart, that can sometimes be a domino effect where it loses as well. So I skipped that one. Then there was a first entry long, second entry long here, but this was so kind of stacked up. I mean, yeah, it looks like kind of a bull flag kind of situation, but I just didn't trust it. It just felt very sideways, and I didn't really like it. Again, this chart had all winning entries since the previous day open. So technically I should be taking these trades, but I just wasn't feeling it, decided not to take it. That was now a third trade I could have had. Could have been 3-0 at that point. And then up here, I was talking about, if you check out my live stream, up here I was talking about how this is a new rule of mine. I'm willing to trade off of these areas where it's like opening price and previous day's low, this red line. I'm willing to use them as a support or resistance. So in this case, resistance. But the thing that I'm observing and watching and waiting before I start taking a setup like this, because this is a new low here. We had a low here with a candle that went above, so new low. This was a first entry below this bar, and then a second entry below this inside bar. And the rule for me is that I'm not trading into what could be old resistance becoming support. So the problem I had here with this second entry short is this green candle closed above both of these levels. And then this inside bar closed like right on the opening price line, the white dotted line. So in theory, if it triggers below here, I should be good using that level as resistance. It traded through it and then got rejected from it. So in theory, I should be good to take the trade if the trigger is below the opening price. But what I'm a little bit hesitant taking the trade right now is just because this bar closed above and this bar closed on it. It's like, am I trading into that level by taking a trade if it ticks one tick below this bar, or is it technically taking the trade off of it as resistance? I believe it's taking it as if it's resistance. This is 2 days in a row where I've seen a similar setup and both of them have worked. But I just want to observe these a little bit longer because the rule that I've made is, let's say this closes above and then this closes, either above the red line or above the white line. I don't want to take a trade where the entry is going into the white line or into the red line from above to go short. So that's the newest rule that I put in place to stay out of losing trades, because I've seen that on good charts that continuously are winning for my profit target. A lot of times they win until you hit these areas and the bar closes here, you take a trade going right into the opening price and it just bounces off it and goes higher and you lose the trade. So I'm just trying to because I have some observations that are clearly causing losers to happen, and I'm coming off of last week where I was 19 and 7 losses in a single week, which was, if you're following my journey, the most losses I've had in a single week trading the strategy on NQ this year. So I'm just being a little bit more careful in these areas. Now, clearly this would have worked. I mean, look, it hasn't looked back since. It's just been a steady decline back to the lows of the day. And, if I keep seeing this happen, then I'm going to take the trade and not think twice about it. There was also a first entry, second entry long above this candle. But because of the nature of the resistance, and it made sense to me that we'd probably retest the lows, I just didn't feel comfortable taking a long here. And then there's just been no setup since then. So just a very dry day, not a lot of opportunities. I'm happy I got my one single trade for the day on this chart right here. And at a certain point, I was down to 2 charts that I was working off of. And then I found a third chart. I didn't, it was the same thing though. Nothing was giving any entries after the long I talked about on that one chart. So really not a whole lot to speak of today, but not a bad day. And I think overall, I've got to consider it a good week. 12 and 1, 92%. And, I got to be happy with that. So I'm definitely finding consistency and finding a way to trade my strategy where I'm taking virtually every setup, but yet still having just the few limited rules to keep me out of some areas where, by my estimation, if I'm going to get some losses, those are the areas where I'm going to be more likely to get them than not. And I kind of saw that last week. A bulk of the losers that I took last week of the 7 trades were in those areas and doing things like what I talked about here, like this trade with the EMA. I probably lost 3 of those 7 trades on trades that look just like this one. This one right here. So, just living and learning and trying to, make this strategy the best it can be. And, going from there. So made some progress. At least I'm back over starting bounce on PA7. And, that's the main thing. Evaluation 35 is not a priority for me. My other evaluations are much more of a priority. And I've got time to get things done on those. And obviously PA2, still looking to get it back to where it was before my last loss, which was at about 52,000. So, once I get to 52,000, obviously my goal will be to make that last 600, get through that last stretch and get a payout. So I think that says it all. 80% discount going on for Apex. You can use this code or any other. It's good for about, over a week. Here, let me check what the date is on that. Right, so 80% off ends March 27th at the close of the market, and on the 27th, as well as the 1-day pass for evaluations is now ongoing. As you can see, I'm not going to be too concerned about the 1-day pass. It doesn't apply it to me or any of my current accounts. Maybe when these get renewed, if they're renewed before that date, then I don't remember when these renew, but if they renew before that date, maybe I'll go for it and try to pass in 1 day. It's not my typical style of trading, as you can see, just going slow and steady. Come check out my live stream if you haven't done so yet. I start at 10 a.m. East Coast approximately every day, and I'll trade until usually around 9:30 West Coast, which is 12:30 on the East Coast. You can see it's going to be it's almost 9:20 right now, so I'm stopping a little bit earlier today. Fridays, I tend to want to shut it down earlier because I just don't want to go into the weekend with a loss or messing up an account. I like to not have to think about trading at all over the weekend. And the only time I just don't think about it at all is when I'm not going into the weekend with a loss. So I think that says it all. 15-minute video. And hope everyone had a good trading day, trading week. and I'll be back at it next week. Thanks for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe if you want to see how this journey plays out. Can I get to a payout? I have no payouts yet, and I'm working towards my first one. So come join me, see how things progress, and hopefully you'll get to watch me make my first payout. And my 1-year anniversary of Apex is coming up at the end of March, so it would be really great if it can somewhat coincide with that anniversary to finally make that happen. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and be back on Monday. Have a good weekend.